Now, more stories, insights, and analysis of Illinois policy and politics. This is Illinois Rising, presented by the Illinois Policy Institute. Once again, your host, AM 560's Dan Proft.
Dan Proft back with Jacob Hubert. He's a litigator with the Liberty Justice Center, associated with the Illinois Policy Institute. And Jacob just had a big victory recently. Chicago City Council allowing for food carts to operate in the city of Chicago, joining the rest of Western civilization. So that was positive. But now we've got a problem where food trucks are getting hassled in the loop. What do you make of this problem?
Well, food trucks have theoretically been legal in Chicago for a while now. There's some rules they have to follow, some stupid rules. They're not allowed to be within 200 feet of a restaurant, which is outrageous because that only exists to protect restaurants from competition. That shouldn't be there, but at least it's a clear rule. And then they're only allowed to be in a particular spot for 2 hours or whatever limit is set for a particular spot that's different from that. So that's pretty clear. But now a bunch of people the other day were just hit with tickets because they were on a business street, which is presumably where you would expect food trucks to be, not parked in front of my house where there isn't a whole lot of traffic.
Yeah. Are there non-business streets in the Loop or River North? I assume not.
Right.
Let's talk to one of those food truck operators. He is Charles Belt of Bruggs Brothers, a popular local vendor that sells Belgian-style frites, as they say in Europe. I prefer fries, but we'll give you frites. So, Charles, you've obviously been operating these food trucks for some time. What happened this week different than what the normal protocol has been?
Yeah, I am in charge of the social media for Bruggs Brothers, and I work on the food truck every day. And what happened that was unique, I think, on Monday was we were at Wacker and Adams with maybe about a dozen trucks. And the meter maid came through and ticketed everyone, basically saying that they were in violation as a food truck operating on that business street. And if we didn't all leave, then they would be back within an hour, and they were going to put boots on everyone's truck.
Is this a place where you regularly go? Have you ever had a problem there before?
Well, yes, this is definitely a regular place. It's prime real estate. It's a place that the lunch crowd knows they can come. They have a lot of options for food trucks. And we've never gotten a ticket like this before.
And so is there any explanation in terms of why it's different all the time? It's just this time as compared to the usual course of business? Is it just, Rahm needs more money, or what's the story?
Well, I wouldn't say that. I have no explanation. We've gotten none necessarily from the city, and I wouldn't put the blame on Rahm necessarily. As far as I can tell, Rahm has been an advocate for food trucks. He wants them to be in the city. But if that's true, stuff like this can't continue because if we're not allowed to park anywhere in the Loop. Basically.
Well, so is it the alderman or a restaurant, maybe brick and mortar restaurants, imploring the alderman to further regulate you guys, like they tried to stop food carts from operating?
Well, that is something that's happened. But I can't say that that's why this specifically happened.
Now, if you can't be at this place in Adams and Wacker, where can you go? Where are you going instead?
Well, we're continuing to go there. And then, they said they were going to be back within an hour. They were going to put boots on our vehicles if we didn't leave. But we decided to stay because we're all small businesses. We're all pursuing our passion. And the choice is stay there and risk getting a boot on our vehicle or leave and not be able to make the money that we need every day.
Now, the city has set up some food truck stands where they say, This is a place where you definitely can go. You can definitely set up here, but those aren't enough, right?
Well, and see, the problem is there's several of them have been passed, but very few of them have actually been put up. And where they are put up is 2 spots here, 2 spots there, and not necessarily with considerations on how food trucks work, or how you can attract people to come to your food truck. Honestly, you need a place where there's 5 food trucks or more. and then people know that's a food truck stop, and that's where they go when they leave their office building at lunch. That's the spot they go to.
Yeah, I've seen them. I see them like over by NBC Tower from time to time, and yeah, right. So that makes perfect sense. Maybe there's a way to strike a deal with the revenue collectors. Maybe you could say, look, if you let us go to the spots that we normally operate from, then we'll run a few red lights on the way to those spots so that you can make your revenue on the red light cameras. And then what about that? What do you think about that? Is that an idea?
Well, I'd rather just have a city that works with us, and Portland and LA, they don't have to deal with these problems. They have thriving food truck communities. And to me, that's paramount to first-class city. I think Rahm and I think the representatives want Chicago to be a first-class city.
And the downtown alderman is Brendan Riley. What has he said about this?
Of course, I haven't spoken to him personally, and I think the Huffington Post did try and contact him and wasn't able to get back to them. So I can't say, but I would love for him to come down and try some Belgian-style frites, and I feel like that's going to change his mind. He's going to be an advocate just by trying our product.
And all that special interest money won't even matter anymore.
That's right. Yeah, that's how good those frites are. All right.
They are.
Charles Belt with the Bruges Brothers, popular local vendor that sells those Belgian-style frites we're talking about. Good luck with the food truck business and dealing with the city, and thanks for joining us.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen, and thank you for helping me kind of shed a light on this issue. It's very important.
My pleasure. Appreciate it.